Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Foreign Correspondent Club of Thailand. We have a very special program for you this evening. My name is, of course, Panu Wongchaum. I'm the club president and senior correspondent for Reuters. We are here as the first election debate for this upcoming election in English, I think for the first time in this cycle. So I'm very excited to welcome such distinguished lineup. As we say, 4 parties, 1 stage. So before we start, I want to go to the ground rule first. Basically, this election debate revolves around 5 themes. Each candidate have about 3 to 4 minutes to answer each of the questions, so this is going to be rather quick. When we reach the 4th minute, I'm going to ring this bell. So, and I'll stop you, and then we move on to the next person. What we have picked, ideally, are the things that foreign media has covered heavily in this past year and also going into the election. So namely, we're looking at the party chances for the election itself, security, which is Thai Cambodia, geopolitics, the economy, and then lastly, the Constitution Amendment, which is an issue because there is a referendum alongside the February 8th election. So I want to quickly introduce the candidates that we have here with us this evening. I'm going to start off, how do I start off like this? I'll go from left to right, how about that? First, I want to welcome back to the club, Kun Virayut Kan Chushat, or Ajahn Ton, who is a PM candidate for the People's Party. Kun Virayut was a long-time academic at the National Graduate Institute for Policy Studies in Tokyo, Japan. He has also long been advising the People's Party and their previous parties on economic policy. So welcome back up, Ajahn. Next to him, of course, no need for any introduction. Welcome back, His Excellency Kon Jatikawanit to the club. Of course, known for his economic expertise, Kun Kon was once the finance minister under the Abhisit government. Today, he is a prime minister candidate for the Democrat Party. Welcome, Kun Kon.
Thank you.
And of course, the gentleman next to him, also no need for an introduction. We want to welcome back as well His Excellency Urawut Silapa Acha, who is currently the number 3 party list candidate for the Phumjai Thai Party. Kun Warawut Opitop was a former head of the Cha Thai Patana Party, and recently he was the Minister of Social Development. He's today representing the ruling Phumjai Thai Party. Thank you, Kap. And last on the far right, but not least, I want to welcome formally Kun Jom Saksit Si Jom Kwan, who is the spokesman for the Pheu Thai Party. We have seen Kun Jom play key roles as advisor to the previous Pheu Thai-led government, and he spoke on many issues publicly about relating to tourism and investment. So today, he will be representing the Pheu Thai Party. Welcome, Kap Kun Jom. So without further ado, I'm going to start this off with a broad question on the election itself. The question is basically this: what does the February 8th vote mean for each of you and each of your party? And how do you see your party chance with the electorate being what it is? What are the main central theme for your party going into this election? I'm going to start off with Kun Urawut, because since you're representing the ruling party, I'll go first with you. Your time starts now, sir.
I don't know if it's me or if it's the party. I always be the first one who get picked, but nonetheless, well, me in the new shirt, Phumjai Thai Party, for this coming up election, our theme this time is we walk the talk plus. We walk the talk, it means we actually delivers on what we promised to. Phumjai Thai Party came into the premier seat for the past few months, and I think during the past few months we have delivered. We have, well, made confidence, Thai people a bit more confidence on, be it the economy, on the, even for the rice farmers, The price of the rice produce have gone up. And the situation between the border between Thailand and Cambodia, which I'm sure we'll talk about later, we have given the confidence to the Thai people. We've gained back the trust. We've gained back our integrity. And thus, in 3 weeks from now, on the 8th of February, we are walking into the election with the words, with the theme, we walk the talk plus. We have the economy plus 10, various sides. I mean, our party leader mentioned on the 28th of December that never before that Phum Chai Thai can deliver such a comprehensive set of policy. We talk about threats to the country, 4 main threats. The first one is about threats on the national security. The second one is about the threats on the social threat. The third one is about threats on the natural disaster threat. And the fourth one, which is as equally important, is a threat on the economy. Each of the threat, we actually address it in accordingly. We have, for example, when we talk about economy, we have economy 10 plus, which, well, it will be quite a time to elaborate on those 10 points, but the 10 points, it actually covers each end of the spectrum, from the small people, from the SMEs to the large industrial. We're talking about the green economy. We talk about older people, silver economy. We're talking about AI plus. I'm sure if anyone would like to talk about it further after the debate, I would be more than happy to accommodate your request. But this time, we don't just deliver the words. We don't just deliver the policy. We actually show you who we are going to use to execute those policies. We have 3 main players on our team. Some of us call the Avenger team. We have Kun Supaji as a Minister of Commerce. We have Kun Ek Niti as a Minister of Finance. We have Kun Sihasak as the Minister of Foreign Affairs. These 3 are the key players that delivers, well, not just results, but delivers confidence to the Thai people. So in this coming up election, it's not just words that we are offering. It's not just we walk the talk plus that we are offering, but we actually offer the confidence. We show you who we are going to use to run all these posts and responsibilities. So in 3 weeks from now, we very much hope that the Thai people would give us their confidence and vote for us both on the constituent side and on the party list system. We are a big party. Of course, there are so many people walking into our parties at the moment, and there have been some allegations, some speculations, but I believe that BJT or Phum Chai Thai Party is like a big jigsaw that has been completed by the, introductions of, people like myself, my colleagues. So we are the missing piece of one another, and that is why our leader said, never before we've been this completed. So please, this is Phum Chai Thai Party.
Thank you, Kap. Top. I think I'll pick Ajahn Ton next, since you're the largest opposition in the last parliament. Please, what is this election about for you and your party? Please, sir.
Thank you, Kun Panu. I hope this will be the last time we being called the largest opposition party. We want to move to the other side. So this election would mean a lot for Thailand and Thai people. To us, starting after the previous election 2 years ago, we got, let's say we were the winning party, but we couldn't form the governments. But after a few months, we were on the onset of trying to do the new things. So we are really focusing on taking the policy more seriously. So in this election, we are coming up with a handbook. We call it the Thailand's Blueprint. We want to redesign Thailand. And if we have to put one term, it will be the reform-driven growth. In the Thai social media and mass media, people also will talk about the bread and butter, the pak thong, panha pak thong. But if we look at Vietnam seriously, what made Vietnam growing very fast it's not about cash handouts, it's not about the big infrastructure, it's more about reform. You know, Doi Moi 1.0 was about reforming the incentive from the collective farming to put more the profit and animal spirit. And more recently, starting from last year, Doi Moi 2.0 has been about the state reform. So our party, the People's Party, also trying to push forward the reform-driven growth, and we're taking policy seriously. I think almost everything is in this book. And we also focus on the question of how and who. So we also showing up the possible executive team if we are elected to be the government. For example, we're very lucky to have Kun Pieng Phanor, the veteran lawyer from PTT, to join us to work on the state reform, the legal reform. Everyone talking about the regulatory guillotine for, I think, more than 10 years. But no one really take it seriously. But I think everyone knows that the People Party, the Orange Movement, serious about the reform. So the key theme for our party is we try to push forward the reform-driven growth. Thank you.
Thank you, Kap Anthony. Next, I'm going to go to Kun Jom, since you were part of a large, for 2 years, the majority of the time, a government, the Thai-led government, was the main sort of, faction that was leading the government in the last election. So, yeah, what does this election represent for you and your party?
Well, thank you, Khap Kun Phano. Not sure if you having us going third have any subliminary message on it or not. But thank you so much, everybody, for inviting me here, and apologize for our candidates for not be able to join in person. Hopefully, you'll have time to have a talk with all of you soon. So the big question for us now is how to take Thailand out of the middle income trap, right, to become a high income country. Right now, we're facing three major challenges. First is geopolitics, as I think many of you in this room know quite well. Second is the technological disruption, right? The rise of AI, the displacements of jobs. Third is climate change, all the disruption in the weather panel, all this extreme weather condition that we have all over the world. So with this said, I think Thailand and Pheu Thai Party Thailand needs a reboot, and I think our theme is to reboot Thailand, and Pheu Thai can do, right? So I think people are anticipating in this election, they're looking forward to this election with high hope, right? Hope that where the future is going to be for this country, hope that all the political parties can deliver good things for them via, constructive and reasonable policies, right? And so far, I think Pheu Thai Party is ready on three fronts, right? Our MP candidates, right, the Sasa, has been working closely, listening to the people very closely, listening to their problem, listening to their issues, their challenges, right? And I think, as you may notice, right, all the candidates, all the MP candidates has been quite savvy on the social media lately as well. So I think we have shifted our communication strategy from a more traditional party to a more modern party as well. So after they listen to all these concerns and party from the people, right, we decide that there are a few things that we need to do in the short term is to relieve them of all this burden, right? So all our policies are evolving around lowering the cost of living, whether it be 20 baht electric train, 10 baht Airbus, debt relief, lower electricity costs, affordable housings, right? So those are the short-term things that we need to do to relieve our people of their burdens, right? And also we need to upgrade our three main sectors. First being the agriculture, second is the industry, and the third is, of course, the service and tourism industry, right? So we think that with science and technology, we can increase the productivities of these sectors, increasing the income, increasing the net disposable income of all the people. And of course, investment in infrastructure program is vital to for a developing country like Thailand to go forward, right? So we plan to continue with the dual track rail investment, right? We also passed the law, the Rail Act law as well to open access usage of rail in Thailand, investment in 2 major airports in the north and in the south, right, to ensure that Thailand maintain the logistic hub of the region. Of course, the people improvement of people living standard or improving the human resource standard is also quite crucial, right? So 30 baht scheme, before it's 30 baht for every diseases, we upgraded to 30 baht anywhere, and this time it's going to be 30 baht AI, where we use telemedicines and also predictive medicines to ensure that people are healthy and can be very productive in their economies. We will pass, we are about to pass in the government the Portable the Government Service Act that is designed to cut out all the red tape so that SMEs and people can get approval and get all the permits easier, ensuring that they are competitive. And of course, with science and technologies, right, with our candidates who obviously very scientifically nerdy, I think he will use that to upgrade our sectors, right, moving us from the food security to food and nutritional securities, right, food and medicines that will also increase the productivities, using all the technology, AI,
John,
and licensing in. Sorry. We'll continue with the next session.
Thank you, sir.
The policy is so long.
No worries. Of course, last but not least, Kun Korn Cup, representing Thailand's oldest party in this election. What is this election about for you?
Oldest party reborn, as it were. Thank you for having me. I haven't been back here for a long time. Certainly did not expect to be back here. It is a very exciting election. I agree with my 3 colleagues. This election, very different from the last one, of course, in that the unelected Senate will have no role in selecting the Prime Minister and therefore have no role in selecting whose government. Now, that makes it more democratic an election than has been for a long time. I think the people are excited at the prospect of choosing a new government. So far, I would also say that the competition has been quite constructive. I notice in everybody's policy platform a real withdrawal from the usual populist programs that are often being offered during elections. Many parties are focusing on reform. We certainly are at the Democrat Party. So it bodes well for what comes next post the election. From the Democrat Party, I have to say, first of all, that this is all quite surprising for many of us who've come back to the party. We did not expect that we would be here. Kun Apisit certainly did not expect that there would be a change or an opening at the Democrat Party within the foreseeable future. So within the last few months, a lot has changed. The landscape has definitely changed in Thai politics. And a lot of it for the better, I would say. So we've been able to effectively rebuild the party. Apisit and I are now 2 of the oldest members of the party, I'm glad to say. We've got some young candidates here with us. Exactly as Kun Saksit said just now, I find most of the new candidates quite sort of nerdy. In their experience and education, and certainly very techy, which is the way it's all going, and that's all good. I think the most pressing issue that we see, other than issues that have already been raised by my colleagues, that faces Thailand, is the issue concerning the level of corruption that persists in the system. In the recent months, you would all have noticed news reports of money laundering, of illicit funds being laundered in the Thailand capital markets, in the Thailand economy, by scam centers that are located in our neighboring countries, be it Cambodia or Myanmar. And that's all pretty bad. I would say actually that if it was to persist in this way for another 3 or 4 years, we would risk becoming basically a failed state. I choose my words carefully. I think that we would risk being alienated by the global financial system, who would find it too risky to have financial transactions with our institutions, including our financial institutions. So we need to take this seriously. Unfortunately, this has not been the case as of yet. And only recently has moves been made, not entirely yet convincingly. And we feel that that is the major role of any government that is to come in the next election, to make sure that this is eradicated from the economy, and not least from our capital markets. So we're fighting on that issue. The main problem related to politics is the flow of those funds into politics itself in an attempt to towards state capture. We can talk more about that because my time's run out. But that is something that we need to avoid in order to make sure that all our good policies have a chance to be executed. Thank you.
Thank you, Captain Kon. Now, we shift the focus a little bit. I think we have the sort of the brief window into what each party is presenting. I'm moving on to what's dominated international headlines in the past year, the Thai-Cambodia conflict. But this is not just about the Thai-Cambodia conflict. I want this question to be about security. So if you feel like you want to talk more about security in general, if you want to go on about the state capture, for example, you can do so. But I just want to say that, you know, in the past, especially July and December, Thai-Cambodia conflict dominated, you know, basically all the media headlines. How do you think the conflict was managed? What's in store going forward? I mean, how do you plan to manage the relationship with neighboring countries, with Cambodia in particular, going forward? How do you plan to manage relationship with the military going forward? And, you know, I want to hear from each of you your approach to national security, but based on what we've been through, Thai-Cambodia featured heavily on this issue. Ruling party, I guess, Kun Top, I won't pick you for the next few questions first, but this time I think this is one of the major issues that the government that you've been involved with both times were involved heavily with. Please.
Well, I actually joined them just about a month ago. Before that, I was in the opposition, actually. And I don't know, my party's number is 37, not 1. But on the stage, I'm always the first one to get picked to answer. But nonetheless, if I may quote my dear Minister of Foreign Affairs regarding the issue, the conflict between Thailand and Cambodia. Thailand have been challenged on 3 dimensions. The first one, we've been challenged on our national security. The second dimension is we are being challenged on our domestic integrity. There have been attempts to create havoc within Thailand from our neighboring countries. And the third, we have been challenged on the international stage where we stand. Rest assured, ladies and gentlemen, that Thailand, we do not seek violence. We do not like to see conflicts, especially with our neighboring countries. And we also believe that when you have a fight with your neighbor, for example, we live in Bangkok right now, we have a fight with our neighbor, we do not want to invite someone from, God knows, from Chiang Mai and come in and try to be the referee, the empire between me and my neighbor. Who would know the conflict, the roots of the conflict between Thailand and Cambodia better than Thais and Cambodians? Not someone from far away. And at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, the conflict must always be solved on the table. We must talk. It's good to talk. We don't seek violence, but rest assured, ladies and gentlemen, if we are provoked, our military will defend at any cost our sovereignty. We will not let anyone walk over us. We will not let Thai bloods being shed for nothing. But I don't want to see our soldiers being slaughtered or killed on the battleground. They are a son, they are a husband, a brother, a father. Some of them are even in my hometown. One of them was about to get married this year, actually, and you know, this war, this conflict just took him away from his fiancée. No one wants to see conflict. I don't want to see Cambodian soldiers being killed on the battlefield neither. But if Thailand, if our sovereignty is being challenged, we shall protect it. Now, as I mentioned earlier, all conflicts must be resolved by negotiation. And such negotiation only happens when the two parties sit together, a bilateral negotiations. We don't need a multilateral, because like I said earlier, who would know Thailand better than Thai people, and who would know Cambodian better than the Cambodians themselves? So it's good to talk. We sit down and try to find a peaceful resolution. We always believe in a peaceful resolution. We do not believe in violence. We don't like to invade other countries because Thailand have never done that before. And I believe in the past 3 months, this government has restored the confidence in the Thai people, amongst Thai people. We have shown to the international people that we shall not retreat without a fight. But at the same time, we seek peace. We like to live in harmony with our neighbor, because you never fight with your neighbor. Having a fight with your neighbor is the worst nightmare. You come home from work late at night and you have your neighbor being a pain. Is absolutely, is a nightmare. So you don't want to have a fight with your neighbor, especially in the country where we share borders together, be it on the east or on the west. So I think this current government have done the best of its ability to defend our integrity, defend our sovereignty, or try to maintain the peace that we are trying to achieve. And going forward, I am very sure that sitting together will bring peace. We don't want to see violence. No one wants to see violence. Thank you.
Thank you, Kap. Kun Jom, I'm going next to you, since you were the government beforehand that was facing this issue, right? And I would like to hear from what you and your party have in terms of national security, especially regarding Thai-Cambodia conflict.
3 minutes, right? So I can do the time.
yeah.
4 minutes, sorry. So
You can wrap up after I ring, but
All right.
yeah.
Thank you.
So you have time.
So I think, first of all, right, Pheu Thai Party would like to send our heartfelt gratitude toward our military personnel, right, who have risked their life protecting our sovereignties. Second, we want to send our best regard to the people who are affected by these conflicts, right? Thailand has all the rights and have the government has full responsibility to protect our sovereignties, right? We have the rights to respond proportionately, right? Although, meanwhile, even though this conflict is a bilateral or two country conflicts, I think as the Pheu Thai Party has done before, right, we need to use our diplomatic channel actively, right? We have to tell the world that we did not start this conflict and we wish to end this conflict on a peaceful term, but we have to tell the world that we did not start it, right? So at the end, the conflicts needs to be solved peacefully. But I think the conflicts between Thailand and Cambodia goes beyond a simple border conflicts or military conflicts, right? I think it's a scammer issues as well, right? The Cambodian, as you can see at the last conflicts, right, when our military forfeit the weapons, right, it's all brand new. It's not being financed by the Cambodian government, right? I think it's being financed by the call center and the scam center and all the gray industry that are operating around that border, right? And this scammer issue thing is not only occurring in Cambodia side, occurring on a lot of countries in this region. So our policy this time to offer Thailand as the regional head, right, to tackle this issue of scamming and all this fraudster on a regional level, right? We are the only country in the region that can play this role actively and effectively, right? So I think in order to solve this conflict sustainably, I think we have to solve the issue of scamming and fraudster effectively as well. So I think that's for the Cambodia thing. For the whole securities, right? I think different theater have different threats, right? The Burmese borders have one issue, the southern borders has one issue, right? The Cambodia border has one issue. So we have to analyze each threat according to whatever happens, right? But another of our policies to upgrade our military capabilities as well. I think to use the example of Israel or the US, right? Their military industry can lead effective investment in the military industry can lead in many commercial benefits, right? And I think if we do this right, I think we can upgrade our military to be a professional fighting force, and also can benefit commercially as well as upgrading our conscription policy, right? Right now, the conscript or Lien Rodor, right? You go in and you play with like old guns, right? I think there are many skills that can be trained when they do the conscription, and also can be used when they get out there as well. Drone operating, cyber warfare, and all that kind of stuff. So I think we want to use this opportunity as one of the channel to improve our workforce as well. So I think at the end, to wrap this up, right, especially on the Cambodia conflict, I think we have to play an active role diplomatically to become the head of the region in tackling this issue, right? And I think Thailand is ready for it.
Brilliant, thank you. Ajahn Ton, I think I'm going to go to you next. Issue of national security, it's always been used in some ways to attack your party in some ways, and of course in Parliament I think you guys have been critical voice in the way the previous two governments have handled this conflict. So please give us your view on Thai Cambodia and also broadly the national security.
There's usually two kinds of nationalisms. One is political, another is economic. It's easier in Thailand to provoke the political ones. If we have the economic nationalism, half our political nationalisms, our economic development may be going further than what has been. We consider the relationship and the war between Thailand and Cambodia to be a hybrid warfare, because it involves so many things old and new: money laundering, information operations, and also the foreign media and affairs. I think with the benefit of hindsight, if we could go back, we could have been more proactive in talking to the international media. Otherwise, you losing the media war and international relationships. And we also want to pay more attention to the scammer issue. That's why when we are talking about the Cambodia issue, Thailand-Cambodia issue, we also talking about upgrading Thailand to become the anti-scam center. If we're doing nothing, we would be the scam center. So we have to choose otherwise to become the internationally anti-scam center, regional and international. And we should have more allies in doing so. The bilateral relationship, the ASEAN also matters. I think we should utilize more the role and function of ASEAN in a more effective way. We also need a third party to help keep the relationship across the border. And I think it's also, the bigger picture is that if we do nothing, or if we do things as usual, as before, we would have more contentious relationship with all the border issue to the Myanmar side, even on the Malaysia side in the future. So I mean, we have to be more proactive. We call it the pro-Thai. In Thailand, in social media and in mass media, we usually talk about being neutral. But I think in the realistic world, you don't need to be neutral. You could be a pro-Thai, following the pro-Thai diplomacy. Whatever good for Thailand, we go for it. And it's also mean we focus more on the issue base, rather than you talking about China, you're talking about the US. No, it's about the Leviathan. We should not talk about the Leviathan as a whole. We should separate into the small or medium issues, and then we focus on what would be the pro-Thai issue on that one. If it's going bad for Thailand, we have to stand up and voice in the international communities. So I think we should consider, in summary, we should consider this issue as a hybrid warfare, and we have to focus more on being the anti-scam center, having the good relationship with the international communities in terms of the data. You need the data. The money laundering this day, you cannot do it alone. You have to have more concrete relationship and data exchange, information exchange internationally, and also get back to the bigger picture. Otherwise, we would have the same conflict with the other countries in the future too. Thank you.
Thank you, Krab. Okay, last but not least, Kun Korn Krab, I think when you were in government, you went through a similar period of tension.
We had 12 days of border war as well.
Yeah, so please.
So in many ways, it's therefore a long-running saga, and hopefully doesn't require necessarily a new regime for relationships to improve. Very much hoping that post-election, things will calm down on the Thai side, certainly, that the ceasefire will hold for long enough for everybody to be confident enough to get back to a negotiating table. Can't avoid the reality that we're neighbors. Today, yesterday, we're all suffering from the haze, PM 2.5. If you look on the hotspot map, you see that there's a lot of open field burning right across the border. We need talks on all kinds of issues that involve the well-being of citizens of both countries. So I'm very much hoping that post-election and with this ceasefire so far holding, we'll be able to get on to better terms as neighbors. But other than that, I identify really 4 main issues that are, in my mind, security related. The first one we've talked about somewhat already, which is the scammers, the attempt at state capture by the scammers, and I don't speak frivolously on this. There is evidence of too many relationships between known scammers and leaders of certainly the past government, including the power behind the past government, which I think is indicative of the very high-level relationships that these scammers and money launderers have been able to build within Thai society and Thai political society in particular. The second issue on the security side is related to climate change and natural disasters. Now, obviously, Hat Yai recently was the most obvious example of this. Very poorly managed. The infrastructure that we thought 5 years ago would be adequate is clearly proving not to be, and so that needs to be addressed. The third security issue relates to geopolitical changes, not least including economic-related issues emanating from geopolitical shifts, and finally, our own economic decline and the need for significant reform in order to make sure that we don't grow poorer and poorer as a nation. Thank you.
Thank you, Kapun Korn. I'm going to switch gear a little bit now and shift the focus to the economy. The Thai economy outlook has been quite lackluster, to say the least. All major engines, investment, export, tourism, not really performing so well. And growth forecast for next year has been around 1.5 to 1.8%. There are also lingering concerns, short term at least, about the strength of the baht and so on and so forth. How do you plan to generate growth and jumpstart the economy if elected? Now, I'm going to go to Ajahn Ton first for this question. What's your plan on jumpstarting the Thai economy?
Okay, I think it's 3 steps to get the Thailand economy jump-started again. The first one would be the fair game. We are involving in the unfair competition game for quite a long time. So the first thing we want to do is that we call it the crossing the backholes, or in Thailand, in Thai word, it's like a หลุมดำ. That's the backhole in the Thai economy. Even if you put more money into it, it's going out because of the increasing e-commerce, the import influx, and also the nominee issues and the money laundering. So first thing first, we have to focus on how to make it a level paying field, a fair game again. That would be the first thing that we should to do. It's also about the legal change issues. But second, it's also about how to create or help the SME, the small and medium enterprises in Thailand, more than 3 or 4 million households involving in the SME. And in the previous government, they got the policy called คนละครึ่ง or half-half policy, as you may know. But half-half policy, okay, it's not bad. We agree with it. But I think it's depend on when and how much the government would put the money into the policy. We want to change, we want to make the demand for SME in Thailand more sustainable. So we are proposing Hoi Bai Set or the SME Lotto. SME Lotto mean is induced incentive for the Thai people who love the lottery. So every month we got the 2 rounds of having the rewards. But there is no push, there is no force. We just want to incentivize. If you buy things, and you can collectively, if you buy things for the small and medium enterprises and correct it to the 500 bahts, you got 1 lottery. So, and in the future, we also want to lead because the tax system in Thailand, as you know, there's loopholes and there's problems. So in the future, we also think that this policy can induce and draw small and medium enterprise into the tax system in the future too. So that's the second step. But the third one would be about the competitiveness. Competitiveness is key to long-term growth of Thailand. We've been called the 5th tiger for a long time. But now we lack the competitiveness. And our party, and this is also the very issue that I'm passionate about. But first thing, we have to change the industrial strategy from the product champion to the strategic components. Product champion means that's what we also will do with, for example, with the EV, electric vehicle. We still think in terms of the made in Thailand. We want to draw all the components coming into the border of Thailand and build everything in Thailand and exporting to elsewhere. That's the so-called product champion. But I think it's no longer work. It's no longer feasible. If you look at your iPhone, it's coming from everywhere, right? You got the good chip from Taiwan. You got the design in California. You may have the final assembly in China, in Vietnam, in India. So we should be more focused on what we have potential. And then in details, we propose that we could form the 3 strategic components. That is the sensor, the power chip, and also the photonics. These 3 things are the key components in semiconductor industry. And Thailand also has some potential to build this. This also helps with the old industry in Thailand as well, because Thailand still has a lot of furniture, textile. But if you think about the bed, the normal bed one that Thai industry can work on is a normal one, the 5,000 baht. But if you put the sensor into the bed, the sensor would be good for the aging society, right? If you can catch the temperature and also for the aged person. So that would increase 10 times the value of the bed. So that's why we propose that in order to revive the industrial competitiveness, we should change from product champion to the strategic components strategy. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. I know it's complex stuff, but the rule is for, and I'll give you to wrap up your final few sentences after that. I'm moving on to Kun Jom, because I guess the Thai party sort of always talk about economy. So what's the party's plan now going into this election on the economy?
So 2 more questions, right? I've been dying to use this drink coupons. It's after 8 p.m. So I think the first thing on the short term, as I mentioned earlier, is the debt relief, right? Why debt relief? Because I think the majority of the people now are being burdened by debt, and not only debt, it's debt from the informal sector, right? So if we can provide them with some debt relief, at least get them back into the formal sector, so at least it's lighten their burden a bit, right? Cost of living has been weighing heavily on the population of Thailand as well, especially, riding BTS here, it's quite expensive, right? So as I mentioned, right, 20 baht electric SkyTrain scheme and 10 baht air conditioning bus scheme, right? 50-50, half and half policy that Phnom Chai Thai has been quite popular, and I think without any political bias, I think we will continue to use this policy, but with an improved version of it. It's called 70-30. Haven't thought of the name yet, but the government will provide 70% and the people want to spend 30%. I think this will stimulate some consumption, right? We just announced war on poverty, right? I think 3 million people in Thailand are living below the poverty line, which is 3,000 baht per month, or like 100 baht per day, right? I don't think as a government we have the full responsibility to take care of them. So anybody who lives that line will be subsidized until they have an income up to 3,000 baht. On human resource development, right, we will continue our ODOS campaign where we send potential kids overseas, right, making sure they stay in the system. We have a เรียนได้งบจบได้งาน which means we provide them with 10,000 baht coupon so they can upskill and reskill and match them with jobs when they get out, upgrading our vocational system. On the existing three sectors that we have, right? So I mentioned already the agriculture sectors, right? We want to ensure that the seeds are efficient, and the mechanization happen, right? So in the meantime, while the farmers adjust, we'll provide them with 3 years debt breaks, and also at 30% profit guarantee scheme where they no longer need to be concerned about the cost, right? Whatever the cost, fertilizer, oil, and seeds, right? It fluctuates, right? We will guarantee them 30% of the cost, so they don't have to worry about what kind of income they have in the future, so they can have a stable future. On the industrial side, right, we will continue with our strategy to attract high value investment from overseas, right? The previous government under Prime Minister Sethar, right, we attract data center. Why data center? Because it's like a beehive strategy, right? New economy, S-curve economy, Internet of Things, autonomous driving vehicle, need memories and processing capabilities. And once those are here with data center, the rest will join as well. On the tourism side, we will continue to attract like big global events, right? Tomorrowland's coming to Thailand. I think the hotels in Chonburi and Pattaya are all fully booked now. We will pursue that further, and we will upgrade our tourism industry toward more health and wellness industry. Ajahn Chen told me that Thailand has a much more advanced tropical diseases research than any places in the world, even Oxford or anywhere in the US, simply because they don't have mosquito over there. So I think we should capitalize on that. Investment on clinical trial, investment on capitalize on things that we are of advantage, such as tropical disease. Gene-based therapy has been a thing now. That will also help us with the human resource side as well, where we upgrade our 30 baht scheme to become AI, right? So what we mean is that using gene-based therapy to do predictive medicines and also linking all the data so the patient can go anywhere. And of course, infrastructure. If you buy me a few drinks after this, I'll talk to you for 2 hours about how our rail act can help the economy. But quickly, so right now we use 1% of our logistics on rail. If we upgrade it to 10%, we will reduce the cost of logistics by 40 billion baht. Right, so we'll invest in more dual track. Right now we have 1,000 kilometers. We'll try to do up to 3,000 kilometers. And with the rail act, right, we will do an open access where a private company can rent out the rail. So logistic costs will go down. So I think that's about it. Maybe more if you buy me drinks after.
Thank you. I'm sure. Thank you. Hey, Top Cup, where I think I know, economy, it's a big theme. What your economy plus plan. Maybe we want to hear some of your ideas about how to jumpstart the Thai economy.
Well, in the short term, in order to jumpstart the Thai economy, we aim to accelerate the high impact investment in strategic industries and translate the investor interest into real economic activity. Well, at the moment, the immediate priority is to fast-track large investment projects that have already been approved. And as we speak, more than 70 major projects, which has a total value of over 300 billion baht, is being actively unlocked by the government, and particularly in the digital infrastructure, electronics, energy, and industrial development. And once implemented, the projects will support the growth, accordingly, job creation, domestic supply chain, technology upgrading, etc., etc. And alongside, the Board of Investment of Thailand, or BOI, has introduced a mechanism called a Thailand Fast Pass in order to fast track all these projects to make sure that it happens as soon as possible. And while at the same time, we also, under the Quick Big Win Plus, we provide a complementary framework that links people, community, SMEs, technology investment, and global trade under the scheme. For example, the Half Plus. I'm glad that my colleague is trying to move it up to 730, but this is not a number game. Otherwise, I can go up to 80-20. But I'll stick to 50-50 because we do insist on giving the people the rods, not the fish. We want them to spend some of their money, and then we will match it with their spending. So in order to increase the money in the people's pocket, there are two ways. One, increase their income. Two, reduce their expenditure. And this half-half initiative, half-half plus, is aimed to reduce the expenditure of people's in everyday lives. And it will go on, it's not going to be forever. It's not a populist policy. It will go on as long as the economy will be able to jumpstart in the short term. And in the medium to long term, part of our Economy Plus package, we do insist on green economy, or all these, the words, for example, the most important part for Thailand now is we have to achieve the net zero status by 2050. Because if we do not achieve it by then, we will not be able to compete at the international level anywhere. I mean, this year, starting from the 1st of January, European community has already implemented the CBAM, the Carbon Border Adjustment Mechanisms. Many other countries, many regions in the world is currently implementing such, trade barriers. So Thailand, be it short term, medium term, or long term, we really need to shift into a more sustainable, more, greener production lines. Otherwise, Thailand will be stuck with the old technologies, and we will not be able to compete effectively with any other people. For Phumchai Thai Party, our economic short-term and medium-term, it's not a big wow, because we need something that is actually actionable, and we need to get it done as soon as possible. And as I mentioned earlier, we want people to be able to live and to earn their livings on their own capability, under their own capacity. There's no such thing as free lunch. So our policies, we don't have populist policies. We want to make sure that, we just give them the rods, not the fish. Okay, a small fish from time to time, but we want to be, we want our economy to be sustainable. By giving them fish all the time, they won't be able to sustain in the long run, as well as our country's budget will not be able to sustain such a freebies in the long run. So hence, we are doing what we're doing right now, and very much hope that we can continue to do what I've just mentioned after the 8th of February. Thank you.
On the dot, thank you. Last but not least, Khun Korn,
Thank you.
as former finance minister, what do you plan to bring to jumpstart the Thai economy, sir?
Right. First, I'd like to say that we do still have quite a lot going for us. We do have fiscal space. 90+% of our government debt is domestic. We have large international foreign reserves. The currency has been strong, too strong. So I think there's room for things to be done. What we haven't been doing right for the past several years is we've moved too far away from free and fair, the concept of free and fair competition. And that has meant that investments have been down, and that needs to be turned around. Now, two key words really, liberalization and reform. Now, when we talk about reform, we've all mentioned this word many times tonight. The first area that needs reform is really the bureaucracy and the government. And technology comes into play here, including political will. We talked about the need to reduce regulatory and legal obstacles to investment and growth, and that needs to be done as a priority. Government data needs to be digitized, open AI access by the private sector, so fintech would like that, the healthcare industry would like that, the education sector, in fact, would like that, and I think that would contribute on its own significantly to economic growth. But that's not enough. We need to use what we've got. We have a lot of good stuff more efficiently, including, of course, state assets. I talked about data already, but I include also significant infrastructure investments that have been made in the past by state enterprises and by the government itself. I use, for example, the electricity network. We need to properly engage ourselves in the so-called ASEAN grid, allowing neighboring countries to be trading electricity through our network, bringing us significant income. We need to allow access. We are beginning to allow access to investments made previously, such as rail track, that should allow private sector to operate train systems on. These are examples. But other than that, two specific sector reforms are definitely needed. One is agricultural, and the second one is energy, especially the electricity sector. On the agricultural sector, the key here is to create scale benefits for the individual farmers. The only way of doing that is to reform the cooperative systems. I look at the New Zealand model, the Fonterra model, reform the existing cooperatives, turn them into professionally managed corporations, which will allow farmers better access effectively to markets, to finance, to R&D. And on the power sector, reform the electricity sector to allow free and fair competition. There's a lot of space here, a lot of low-lying fruits. For example, the first thing we would do if we were to get into government is to liberalize, or rather create openness to the way EGAT buys electricity. Unbelievably, Thailand, we have a single buyer model. EGAT is a single buyer of electricity. And unbelievably, we have no open view of who they buy from at any given time. So no transparency on that. We have no idea if they're buying the cheapest electricity or they're just buying expensive electricity from their friends. So low-lying fruits like that is indicative of the kind of reform the Democrat Party feels we can make that can have a significant impact on the economy. Thank you.
Thank you, Khun Korn. We're moving to second last question that I said before I go to the floor, but this one is a big one because it's on geopolitics. The global great power rivalry has been intensifying, and Thailand, with its bamboo diplomacy, is now facing a far narrower margin to maneuver. How do each of the parties see the future of Thai foreign policy in the current geopolitical landscape? We've seen last year the Trump tariff. We've seen the way China, Russia, other players reacted on the global stage, and things are changing very quickly. I'm going to go first to Khun Riyut again, if you don't mind. Please give us your views on Thailand foreign policy and geopolitics in general.
Yep. For our foreign policy and strategy, there are two key issues. On the one hand, we focus on the so-called pro-Thailand policy. This is quite different from what we call being neutral, or in the Thai mass media, people usually ask for the keeping equal distance from the major power. But that's not only impossible, it's also not much useful. We should focus more on the pro-Thailand rather than talking about, I touched upon the issue, rather than talking about China or the US as being a Leviathan. We should focus more on the details, the issue-based diplomacy, what would be good for Thailand, what is bad for Thailand. But the other things that we want to focus, we want to make it more edible. Diplomacy being more edible by doing two things. One is looking north for the joint technology. Another is looking south for the global niche markets. Looking north means we want to form the better economic relationship with the East Asian economies. But we have to focus on what they lack and what they want. For example, I've been in Japan for quite a long time and have a very good friends and relationship, but I also know that Japanese usually talk about the past. We have to put them forward to talk more about the future, what we can invest together. For example, Japan also investing a lot in hydrogen power and also looking forward to the autonomous driving, but they lack the areas of experiment, especially in Japan, because of the rigid regulations and so on. We should bring more of them, the laboratory, the investment, the research and development center to Thailand, and talking about the patent, how to share, how to code the patent for the future if it's successful. That's also the sample of looking north strategy. Then we also should be looking south for the niche markets. For example, we propose to restore the port at Lanong. That's already the port at Lanong. It's also suitable for the medium-sized ship to India, to Chennai. We don't need to build a new port. There's already one going to the Andaman side, but we have to restore, we have to digitalize it and use it as a gateway to India. It's a growing market, especially in Chennai port. That's also the opportunity for the creative economy elsewhere. If you know that's a boy love drama, the boy love series or the Y series. Thai boy love drama very popular in Latin America, especially in Brazil. I talk with people in this industry, and so there's an opportunity there, but we never work about this in a systematic way. So looking south means, rather than going and talk to between the minister and minister, no, we focus on the niche markets and work on each India for something, Latin America for something, Africa for something. So that would be our policy to make the diplomacy and foreign affairs edible, looking north and going south. Thank you.
Thank you. Very interesting. Kun Korn Kap, may I go next with you? I keep
Sure.
keeping you at last. So, what's your view on the sort of geopolitical stance for Thailand?
Yeah. One word for Thailand, really, for me, is as improbable as it may seem to be today, is ASEAN. We need to find a way of revitalizing it, getting it to work again, because without that, we get picked off, as we have been, not just by one superpower, but by both or all of them. It's not easy, but I think the best way of moving towards ASEAN cooperation is less on the political side, but more on the economic side, because there are genuine benefits from us working more closely together, and Thailand could take the lead. We worked very well together when we were in government 15 years ago. That relationship has very much declined since then, very sadly. But for example, I mentioned just now the ASEAN grid. That's an obvious and simple starting point, which will involve Vietnam, Laos, Thailand, Malaysia, and Singapore. Not a bad start. Easy to do because most of the infrastructure is already in place. We just, need to have an agreement that provides a level of comfort and confidence to investors that we're seriously doing this. And as I said, it's very much a low-lying fruit. But there are other issues. Our ongoing issues with our lack of ability to tax foreign e-commerce platforms, we'll never achieve it alone. All we need to do is take a look at the way the EU approach this. You know, the individual super economies will try to negotiate with us bilaterally, and we need to try to find a way of doing it in a multilateral fashion together as ASEAN. And so I think that needs to be a priority. We haven't seen any ASEAN leaders stepping up to the challenge of rebooting ASEAN. But I think the time is now, given what's happening geopolitically. Thank you.
Thank you, Khun Kong. Might as well go to Khun Top Cup, just roll down. For you, I mean, I know that in the past there was rumor that you will also potentially, have the shot at becoming a foreign minister and so on, but of course things change. But what's your view, and what's your Phumchai Thai's view on sort of Thailand's place in the world?
I always say speak English doesn't mean you automatically becomes a Thai foreign minister. Otherwise, we'd have the whole of the United States and England to be the candidate for our foreign minister. But nonetheless, for Phumchai Thai Party, we do believe that foreign policy for us must do two things at once. One is to advance Thailand dignity abroad, and two, to improve the people's lives at home. And we believe that our policy must deliver tangible benefits to our people. Diplomacy should translate into income, opportunity, and national competitiveness. We are a small country, we are not a superpower. So for us, a bamboo policy, sometimes when the storm is really big and heavy, you have a gale force wind, you don't be like the electric pole and stick up straight. You have to be like a bamboo. But we do bend strategically. We have roots. We bend, but we do not break. We have our roots. We have our core value. And Thailand shall aligned. We shall cooperate where our interests aligned. We do bow to no one. We have our sovereignty. We have our integrity. But the superpowers, they are friends. The US, for example, they are our biggest trading partners, despite the fact that our biggest trading partners trying to slap on a humongous tax increase for Thailand. They're still our biggest trading partners. And for China, needless to say, I'm part Chinese. My wife is part Chinese. After all, a lot of Thai people, we descended from our ancestors are from China. We have a long thousands of years, for Thailand, it's hundreds of years of history with China. So one is a trading partner, one is like a relative. So we stay right in the middle. We can't choose really. We can't go, oh, I like this guy, I don't like that guy. So we have to think about the benefit of Thai people, and we have to make sure that those interests are aligned and make sure that Thai people benefits the most. We don't want to get into the fight with anyone. Thailand, we don't like to fight, not even with our neighboring countries. In the real world, money talks. We do businesses, we trade, and our foreign policy needs to make sure that our country, our people, is well covered. We want to make sure that whoever we deal with, whatever decision we make, is for the benefit of Thai people. We don't want to get into the bullseye between the bull's horn. I'm sorry, because like I mentioned earlier, we are a small country, and sometimes when the interests aligned, we cooperate with certain sides. And the most important of all, our integrity is definitely not going to be compromised under pressure. And that's why I said we bow to no one. And I believe, despite the bamboo policy, is a bamboo policy with a very, very deep roots and a very clear-cut core value. Thank you.
Thank you. And John Cup, your party's view on foreign policy.
Thank you. So when I was in the government, I had a chance to join these diplomatic events, and there's a saying that uncertainty is a certainty nowadays in the world, diplomatic world this day. So to be able to say what's going to happen in the future, if somebody would say that to you, I think they would be lying or guessing heavily, right? So for us, right, I think the way Thailand should go forward is to continue to invest, to ensure that we stay in the geo-economic supply chain, right? I think I mentioned before the dual track train, which will connect the whole region together, right? Allowing private access to our rail system, lower logistic costs, and ensuring Thailand stay within the supply chain within the ASEAN and China and the whole Australia. Another mega project that I failed to mention, thank you Khun Viyut for reminding me, almost lose my job over it, land bridge project, right? So we will continue to pursue that project. I think the law has been passed, the Southern Economic Zone has been passed. Yes, the Ranong side port is necessary, but I think the Gulf of Thailand side is also necessary as well. I think the facts show that right now the traffic going through the Malacca Strait to the Singapore port is overburdening the ports, right? I think with the land bridge, we're not competing with Singapore to the representative from the Singaporean embassy, but we are complementing, right? I think there are many big size ships that go to Singapore, but there are also smaller to medium size ships that can come through the land bridge projects. And I think that will continue, that will ensure that Thailand continue to stay within the supply chain, the global trade route, right? The investment in two airports in Lanna and in Andaman will ensure that we are the logistic hub, right? So when we invest in all this mega project, we will ensure that we have access to $1 billion to the left in India, and $1 billion to the north in China, and also almost $1 billion down south, right? So I think our diplomatic, I think nowadays real politics, I think, to use the former terms. So it's very much issue-based, right? We don't fight with anybody. I think we are friends with anybody's, right? When the Russian-Ukraine conflict is going on, right? We ended up having the highest number of tourists from Russia and Ukraine in Phuket, right? When the Israeli and Palestinian conflicts going on, we have a high number of Israeli tourism coming here. So I think there's an opportunities, right? If we position ourselves as friend but not foe with anyone's, right? And continue to invest. In addition to that, right? Not only the mega projects for infrastructure, right? The way we attract high-end advanced industry, we also ensure that we become a main economic player within the region, right? So I think our diplomatic strategy or policies is very much linked to our economic policies, right? How do we ensure that we invest in our infrastructure, attract enough investment so that we stay within the game?
Thank you. Last question from me, at least, before I turn over to the floor, is that we're circling back to politics, domestic. In this election, we are...
Actually, can I interject a little bit?
If you want.
Break the rules.
Yeah.
You
did have like about a minute left.
Yeah, because, thank you. Because a significant project was mentioned by Jom just now, which I just want to put on record for potential foreign investors that we don't agree with, which is the land bridge program. We think it doesn't work commercially. It's going to be a big waste of money. You're going to build it and nobody's going to use it. The numbers, I urge both your parties, because I know they're in your economic program, to take another look at the economic assumptions that are being used to justify the project. The numbers don't add up. The time savings doesn't exist. And I think my colleague on the left talked about expanding the Ranong port. That's a better option on the Andaman side. On the Gulf of Thailand side, we can repower the Songkhla port to make it more effective. Add additional infrastructure for sure, linking the two, but definitely not the land bridge program. Thank you.
Fair enough. Since you put it like this, is there any issues any previous speaker want to raise? I give you a minute each.
Khun Kon already make it a debate now to fight your sleepiness.
Well, I think the party, Pheu Thai party, believe that in order to rejuvenate the southern part of Thailand, the economy of the southern Thailand, right, we need a mega projects. And you may think the economic assumption doesn't work, but DP World Port operators and many other big investors that we have been talking to think otherwise. So a lot of a company has been expressing interest in investing in this. I think the major infrastructure will be done on the private sector, so it's, proportionally, I think no more than 20% will come from the government side, the rest will come from the private side. But I think we can look at it from a different angle. Time saving depends on how you look at it. If petroleum product and gasoline product can be put through, right, and smaller ship can be used as a complement to Singapore port. I think we have to look at not only the time saving, but the financial saving as well. The more congestion we have in Singapore, the longer the wait time, right? The longer the insurance cost. So I think this has to be put into the consideration as well.
Okay. Look, if either of you end up in government, or in the next after the election, I'll invite you and I'll do a program on land bridge, right? Just quickly, before I turn over to the floor, we all as Thais have to vote on the third ballot this time around, the constitution referendum. It's such a technical issue. Foreign media find it a big struggle to explain because there's so many steps. But I give you guys a quick comment on this constitutional reform, whether your party is for or against it, but also to wrap up, I mean, because essentially what it is about the future, of Thailand. This is the basic, right? The political rules that govern the land. So on that note, what's your view on the constitutional reform and where do you see the future before I turn to the floor? Well, Kun Jom, you might as well have been talking, so I'll give you your 3 minutes, sir.
So I think Pheu Thai Party has been one of the biggest receiving end of this constitution, right? We have lost 2 prime ministers within the last 2 years, which is one of the major reason why a lot of our policy didn't get implemented according to our plan, right? So I think there are many issues that this constitution caused, things such as the origination of where this independent organization, right? How they get selected, how they get voted, how they are not connected to the people, right? Previously, the people can collect, I think, 50,000 names, and you can ask for the removal of all this independent so-called organization. But right, this constitution doesn't allow that, and I don't think, as many people would like to say, that it is to prevent corruption. It shows otherwise. I think we have issues such as scammer that everybody is talking about, invading the political spheres. Right, this constitution did not help. I think Pheu Thai Party has been trying to make an amendment on this constitution from the start, right? The first cabinet meeting with Kun Sethha, he already issued an order to set up a meeting, right? And long story short, the last action that we have done is to propose to the government to ensure that the first question is placed on the ballot, and it happens. Thank you very much to this current government. Apart from section 1 or 2, I think this constitution need to be looked at to ensure that it's connected to the people, and where this independent organization has to be, there has to be accountability for them.
Thank you. Kun Warawut Kap on top, please, your view on the reform and just looking ahead as well.
Well, Phumchai Thai Party, we do agree that we should have a new constitution. And because what happened at the moment is the current constitution has quite a few constraints to when we try to operate the government or member of parliaments or at the local levels. There are various obstacles that the current constitution is actually restraining us. Kind of some of the articles is like tying our hands behind our back. But despite the fact that we agree we want to have a new constitution, we do stress on 2 things. 1, section 1 and section 2 of the constitution must not be touched. It remains. Anything that deals with the authority or deals with His Majesty, the royal family that we hold dear to our heart, that is our deal breaker. We do not touch section 1 and section 2. Also, regarding the criminal law, Article 112, or the lèse-majesté law, we don't touch that one neither for the Phumchai Thai Party. If anyone knows about having a new constitution, I think it's me and my colleagues down there on the floor, because my father, one of the biggest inheritance he left to Thailand was the 97 Constitution, one of the best constitutions that Thailand have ever had. The beginning, the birth of that constitution, the processes that went through to come up with that, to come up to the 97 Constitution, it was spotless, it was immaculate. And we very much believe that that is the path from, well, after the 8th of February, once the first national referendum is being done, is going to be the beginning of the new drafting processes of our new constitution. So we have 1 to 2 deal breakers in our conditions for the new constitution. Thank you.
Thank you. Kun Korn Krap, do you want to take up on this?
Yeah,
final thought?
I listen to Kun Top, and a question comes into my mind. I mean, he's reaffirming, drawing a red line on section 1 and 2, which I agree with entirely. But my question is, since the government drafted the question for the constitution, why didn't you specify in the question that these 2 sections cannot be touched, and do we want to rewrite every other section? Or is the fact that you've left that vague an implication that potentially section 1 and 2 can be changed?
No, we don't have that intention at all. And as a matter of fact, when the voting happened, I was in the opposition. I was not with the Phnom Thai party
Right.
yet.
That's true.
And this is the cons about joining the party about a month ago, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry. So I can't really speak on their behalf on the thing that I didn't do. But,
Fair.
you know, during the parliamentary session, if you recalled, I think the draft from Phnom Thai party didn't go through. And our party, Cha Thai Patana party, we only had 10 people. We didn't even have enough people to propose our own version of the constitution. Had we had 25 people, we would have proposed that condition within the national referendum. I'm not quite sure what went wrong during the parliamentary session for the voting, but the draft that Phnom Thai kind of proposed, I don't think it went through the parliamentary session, and that's why we came up with the questions on the 8th of February, just yes or no on the new constitution.
Yeah, okay. Well, it is what it is. But what it means is that potentially a lot of people who want the constitution amended may be wary of voting in favor of it because of this uncertainty regarding section 1 and 2, which I think is a real shame. Now, from our perspective, definitely we want the constitution to be amended, especially on issues related to the Senate, the selection of the Senate, and also the selection of the so-called independent agencies, which have been anything but independent. So we'd like to see the constitution amended. If the constitution, if the referendum was to pass, then we'll work with you in making sure that section 1 and 2 is not touched and that the relevant sections are properly amended. If it's voted down, hopefully, you know, we can work together to try to article by article, section by section, amend the bits that we think need amending. I guess that's where we are.
Thank you. Janton Krap, give the final words. And I know that this issue is quite central to your party in many ways. So
yes. The People
please.
Party has a clear and strong stance on the constitutional change. So we also made a public campaign about this because we think that Thailand as a country should and shall remedy 3 major issues or 3 obstacles to our political and economic development. The first one is government stability. I think everyone knows that you got 1 prime minister a year. It's no good, and it's no good for international communities too, economically and politically. So we have to change or amend the constitutional regulations. And second, yes, it's about the oversight regulation. I think I usually call it oversight regulation organization rather than the independent one. And the third one is also about the decentralization issues. we can also amend the constitution to make it more decentralized. So given all these three major issues that we want to remedy, so we have a strong position on supporting, unlocking the process of starting the process of making the new constitution. Yes.
Thank you. Before I turn over to the floor, any final words from anyone regarding any issues that we've been through? I know it's been a snapshot of things. Okay, well, I'll open to the floor then. I will please identify yourself, who you work for. Working press is we'll give a priority to them. And also please just keep it to your question and not a statement. So Peter, please.
Peter Jansen, Business Times of Singapore, right? Firstly, let me compliment the panel on the level of English. It's really been great. 30 years ago, I think only the Democrats would have been so articulate, yeah? So I really appreciate your level of English. I'm going to address this question to Kun Warawut. I know you're sort of new to the Phumjai Thai party, but I don't feel I've got a clear sense of how committed you are to reform of the economy. Kun Korn has expressed specific issues like reforming the bureaucracy, reforming EGAT, which is very difficult to do because EGAT is powerful and the bureaucrats are also powerful. And I think Kun Prayut and the previous government tried to push through this regulatory guillotine and failed because the bureaucrats pushed against him and the SOEs pushed against him. And so this requires real leadership. And there's a possibility Phumjai Thai might be the leading party in the next coalition government. So how committed is Phumjai Thai to real economic reform? Yeah? Thanks.
Rawat Kap.
Well, in driving our economy forward, like I mentioned earlier, we talk about the economy 10 plus package. We are not trying to, do the big picture. We do a small picture, 10 of them at the moment. We're talking about the smaller people. We want to make sure that they are, they shall survive, their everyday lives, the income, expenditure, and make sure that it supports them all the way into the old age, which leads to the second economy part, which is about the silver economy and talking about the older people. When we talk about economic reform, we think at the moment one of Thailand's biggest challenge is that in less than 10 years, our country is going to be filled with almost, about 20 million old people, 60 plus. And by the time we get there, the generation that's going to be most affected is the Gen Y and Gen Z. So our economy from now on, we really need to think how to take care of the older people. Not just, of course we have to think about the big picture, but we need to go forward without leaving anyone behind. At the moment, the aged society that Thailand is, and soon in less than 10 years we will become the super aged society. 1 in 3 people in Thailand will be 60 plus. Now that would be a big burden to the economy if we don't do something about it. The point that Phumjai Thai is pointing out is that we really need to look after this sector of people. Otherwise, they will become the big burden to the working age group of people, because they are this working, the Gen Y and Gen Z is generating a tremendous amount of income for the country, and to support even bigger amount of population of the older people. So we are committed to reforming our economy, but there are some, at the moment, pressing concerns. For example, climate change, I thought that was pressing one, but my work at the Ministry of Social Development and Human Security showed me that the problem of the age and super age society is even more immediate. It's not about not about next year, it's about this year. We're going to have about 15 million older people, and a lot of them are being left unattended. I mean, my mom is 92 this year, and fortunately my sister is with her and she has a nurse, but what about the others? And when that happens, the working age group, they are too burdened to go forward with any other plans. So for Phumjai Thai Party, we try to pick up all the pieces of jigsaw of the community and go forward together. And that's what we plan to do at the moment for the time being.
Thank you. Next, please. can you speak into the mic? I can't hear at all.
Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yes.
So I'm from the Human Rights Foundations, and my
Name, please, as well.
Yeah.
Your name and
Oh, I'm Tanya Lak from the Human Rights Foundation.
Thank you.
My questions is for everyone, and is related to the right to freedom of expressions and peaceful assembly. So in the past year, we saw the rise of youth-led movements in Thailand and in other countries in ASEAN regions as well. Now the movements have been slowed down, but so many activists and young activists had to flee the country, and many of them are imprisoned because of Computer Crime Act and Article 112. I want to ask each of you, if your party is elected, how could you ensure to promote and protect the right to freedom of expressions and peaceful assembly? Thank you.
thank you for the question. I'll try to keep the time because try to wrap things up by 9. So please, each of you, if you want to give a quick remark on, human rights. Who want to go?
I can start. Thank you for that question. Our policy would be to do what we were doing 15 years ago when Khun Apisit was in charge. He set up a committee of esteemed persons, basically to vet and filter charges that are being made specifically on issues related to Article 112. Not least because our perception is that the authorities were not properly necessarily interpreting the law in a sensible manner. And basically they didn't dare to. So we needed to provide them with a shield to make the right judgment on what should be charged and what should not be. And as a result, we were able to significantly reduce charges made on claims based on Article 112 during that period. In fact, a number of foreign correspondents in this club benefited from the work of this committee and thus were allowed their proper freedom of speech that we feel strongly needs to be protected.
Thank you. Who wants to go next? John? Okay.
Yes. So I think Pheu Thai Party has experience with freedom of speech and freedom of assembly before, right? I think on both issues we are committed to those freedoms since it is a foundation of democracies. On the 112 articles, I think those are the most critical parts, right? I think there are many parts of the society. This discussion needs to continue, right? Whether how do we solve this thing on a sustainable manner. But during the when we were leading the government, right? What we were trying to do is to split up kids who are under 18s. Hopefully they can go through a different justice route, which is already provided by any other criminal law, right? If you're under 18, there's a different route that you go, right? We were trying to do that same thing for people who were charged with Article 112, so that at least, right, while the society is to have a discussion about this, at the very least, our youth and our younger generation can have another chance to come back to the society. So, but I think the Article 112 article will still need to be discussed.
Thank you. Ajahn Ton, maybe you?
I think two things. The bigger issue that we have to do regard the constitutional reform also matters if we want to uphold the rights and especially make it more equal. But in details, it's also about the parliamentary subcommittees. I think that the realistic process that we could do. So the previous government, there's also a lot of parties, Pheu Thai included, also work with the people's parties, or we try to make it to the new regulations and also set up the new committee to doing so. I think it's that the realistic process. But we also need to change the constitution too. Otherwise, it's also about the authority of the others oversized organization. So constitution on the one thing and parliamentary committees on the other to work together.
Brilliant. Thank you.
Well,
Robert, come.
as a Phumchai Thai party, we strongly believe in the freedom of speech as long as it doesn't violate someone else's rights of freedom of speech. You don't violate, for example, I heard the news, some cases in the US, some people, were threatened or something about the president, and the next day, the FBI came knocking on the door of that person, and that person got arrested. Same thing in Thailand. So if you can feel free to say everything as long as it doesn't violate someone, and the law clearly states what you can and you cannot do. So if that is being challenged, I do agree with my colleague here, Kun Gorn, that the lèse-majesté law, the Article 112, the problem is not the law itself, but sometimes some group of people abuses such law. We do have the rule of law, but the scrutiny of the process of considering it sometimes needs to be re-evaluated. So as a Phumchai Thai, we believe in freedom of speech, but it mustn't violate someone else's rights too.
Thank you very much, Robert. Next question, please.
I'm David Feingold from Ophidian. I'm both an anthropologist, but I also do documentary films for television. And I spent a long time filming at Preah Vihear, Khao Prawi Han. And I filmed the previous fighting there, not this time. And last time there was very intense fighting, but it was confined. Now it has spread all along the border. So there are two things which I will be very direct. One, the Thai army just blew up a UNESCO World Heritage Site. And the sort of feeble excuses that it came up with will not be very convincing in the rest of the world. So I'd like to ask you all how you intend to deal with that, since attacking a World Heritage Site is a war crime.
Thank you.
Wait, let me get the second one. I'm going to be very brief. I've been here far longer than you have. The second one is the issue of scam centers. There was a very good meeting here the other day that showed that the money generated from the scam centers, one, ends up in Thai banks, and two, is so vast that it is only multilateral approaches that can do anything. So how do we fix the issue of multilateralism with the idea that the only settlement with Cambodia has to be bilateral? See, I was very brief, right?
Sort of. Can be briefer, please.
I'll
Go
go
ahead.
first. So I think, as I mentioned before, right, the conflict with Cambodia reflect a wider problem, right? The issue of scammer and fraudsters are multinationals, right? So I think for Thailand, we have to set ourselves up as the head of the region in tackling this. Of course, we have to use the reach of superpower, which sometimes may be overreach, as you may see from here and there, but we still need their influence and their power to help us deal with these issues, right? United States, the European Unions, and even the Chinese, right? So, but I think our policy is quite clear, right? We have to be the center in the region, because it's not only in Cambodia, it's in Laos, it's in Myanmar, right? So it's not only concerning the conflict. It has to be separate issue from the border conflicts, right? The border conflicts need to be dealt with bilaterally, but to deal with the scam center, that has to be a multilateral movements, right? Regarding the bombing the UNESCO site, it is quite unfortunate, right? But I believe, as far as I understand, the Cambodia used those sites as a military activities. So although it is unfortunate, and I think the Ministry of Culture already talked about restoring it at the best they can. We do not, I'm pretty sure the military do not intend to attack it, do not intend to put any scratch on it. But unfortunately, military requirement and necessities made them do so, because then Cambodia decided to use it as a military placement. So,
Thank you. Janton.
I think the People's Party is proposing to establish the data bureau. The data bureau is the way to deal with the increasingly complicated way of money laundering. You know, people, these gray people and group buying, they use money, crypto, supercars, luxury apartments, and so on. You cannot use the own system to cash with them. It's like the issues of the cash me if you can. So we have to establish the new data bureau. It's like what we have the credit bureau in Thailand, but we need a new institution to deal with this linking all the data internationally too. Otherwise, we cannot deal with this. And I think the goal is to convince people to have the clear end game. I think the Cambodia and even the heritage issue now is all about the everyday politics and everyday emotion. We should start talking about the end game that we want, especially in Thailand among the Thai people, what we really want in the long term, and then working backward, step by step, to reach that goal. But having the data bureau would be very helpful. It needs both the political will and professional will together. It's not about the lip service. You need both the political will and professional will to deal with this complicated issue. Thank you.
Others, Khun Barawut?
So, well, regarding the first issue about military attacking the World Heritage Site, I'm a big fan of World Heritage. I've worked with them before. As a matter of fact, our foreign minister, Kun Sihasak, was formerly on the board of UNESCO. And unfortunately, sometimes, you know, I don't think any military personnel in their right mind would just suddenly aim at the castle and just blast it off out of the blue. No one wants to do that. Everyone knows how precious, how you know, how it is that those places need to be preserved. But once the challenged is being placed in that vicinity, you know, the target, once the military engagement happens around that area, they don't see it as a World Heritage anymore. They see it as a point of threat that needs to be, well, make it unthreat. And that is why they had to do what they had to do during the conflict time. And as my colleague from Pheu Thai Party mentioned earlier, that the Ministry of Culture is already talking about restoring them, because when the military goes on their full ahead, you know, military operation, they can't really say that, oh, this is the World Heritage Site and stay away. Otherwise, what happens if the other side decides to exploit such place and use it as a base to attack our side? And that is why, you know, I think they did what they did. Regarding the scammers and the border issue between the multilateral and the bilateral, of course, when it comes to border issues, it's bilateral. We don't need a third party to come and say, where's my fence, where's my line? It's bilateral. But when it comes to scammers, it affects not just Thai people, but it affects the international community. And that is why I think it's a multinational, multilateral efforts that's combined to help freezing assets of the scammers worldwide, and it will become effective once we try to cram it down into the, you know, whether be it on the east or on the western border of Thailand.
Thank you. Any comment? Okay. We're running out of time, but I see that there's 3 people that want to ask the next question. What I do is allow all 3 of you to quickly ask your question, and the panel can decide whether to take them or not, okay? Because this is no longer the debate. Not all of them have to speak. So please, quickly.
Hi, my name is Victor. I'm a businessman. This question is directly for Khun Gon. Regarding the conflict between Thailand and Cambodia. Yesterday, I think, there was a debate that Khun Napisit went. Khun Napisit kindly stated in the debate that we should keep only the 43 MOU, and we can get rid of the 44 MOU. On the same day, at the same time, in another debate, Khun Aisara said we should keep both MOUs. And just the day before, Khun Earth your party speaker was at the debate with Kun Jom actually. He was saying in that debate that as a speaker, the duty of the speaker in this age of era is to keep the message internally of everyone in the party. So everyone know the stand of the party, everyone understand how to communicate outward correctly. So my question is, I think we all agree that Kun Visit return to the party this time is to make Democrat great again. When will that actually happen? And I think it starts with sending the message correctly first.
Okay, consistency of the messaging for the Democrats Party. I'll wait, can you wait and we get everyone to ask and then we can choose. So that's consistency of the
My question is
Ambassador,
on,
sir.
Oh, sorry, my name is Rat Chali Chan. I'm advisor for Pheu Thai Party on international affairs. My question is also on Thai-Cambodian conflict, and but mostly direct to Kun Warawut as a member of the government party. Now, it seems to me your earlier presentation that claiming success on handling this new round of conflict with Cambodia, but it seems to me that what is being done is just continuity of what the Pheu Thai government have done before, which is safeguarding our sovereignty and safeguarding the lives of the Thai people mainly, and that's our main objective. But at the same time, it seems to me that the current government is more heavily-handed or more aggressively use of military action than the previous government. That seems to me. And the current government is more or less alienating itself with our allies. Now, my question is, as according to your words, you paint yourself or the government as peace-loving. You want the peace negotiation, peace talks going on. You don't want to seize their land and so on and so forth. But this picture, do you really think that the whole, I mean, because according to some foreign international media like Al Jazeera, it's said explicitly that Thai violate and invade Cambodia. That's what the news has been reported. And according to the defense minister's own words, he said himself that no countries understand Thailand, and all of them aside with Cambodia. That is his own word. And lastly, my question is: do you really think that what you say as we are peace-loving countries and we don't want anything but talk with them? That is a message that most of the media or other leaders agree with. And I forgot to mention that President Trump also said Thailand launched attack first in this round. This is the second round.
Okay.
And the last question.
Thank you, Ambassador. I think you've taken a lot of time.
Sorry.
But the question is very simple. It's about his words and whether the Thailand peace-loving thing is gonna be implemented.
This is a crucial one because this is crucial. My question is specific is that when you talk about the peace negotiation, if there is evidence in the end that proven that the land that we have at the moment seized from Cambodia side belongs, proven by scientifically some evidence that those land belongs to Cambodia, would your government prepare to cede them to the Cambodia side, or is that part of negotiation that would be acceptable to you? Thank you.
Thank you, Ambassador. Question for Kun Top on Thai-Cambodia. Lastly, this is the last one.
Hi. My name is Pantira Wagara. I am one of the investment board for Thailand Social Security Fund. Sorry for my broken voice because the Thai PM 2.5 that I could not take. Yeah, I just arrived on Monday. And first of all, I won't ask about Thai or Cambodia anymore. What my question is about is, on behalf of your party, what's your opinion on the Social Security Fund reformations? As it is also Thailand's largest fund at 2.8 trillion Thai baht. As everyone here harp on anti-corruption, the only possible way to solve Social Security Fund issues permanently after 18 on the board seat is in fact highly connected to the upcoming general elections, as we need majority votes of the MP to amend the Social Security Fund Act to make it independent organization similar to government pension funds as a real step to reform. So will you and your party support that?
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, 3 questions, big questions. I go with Kun Top first and Kun Korn because those were specific to yours. And then a quick word on Social Security. A big issue, deserves its own time, but a quick word and we wrap up.
Well, allow me to say that what the government has done in the past 3 months have really restored confidence. And I don't think Pheu Thai did much before that, because had Pheu Thai-led government did something, I probably, as a Minister of Social Development and Human Security back then, probably wouldn't have to come up with my speech on that day that had about over 20 million views. Out of all the ministry that came out and shouted the loudest was the ministry without guns. It was a Minister of Social Development and Human Security. No one said anything, no one did much, that's why I had to come out. So I didn't paint the picture. I know, I was there, and that's why I came out and said it. I don't need to paint the picture that Thai people love peace, because we do. I mean, asking that, I don't know if you're Thai or Cambodian, because most Thai people actually love peace. And, you know, even asking about the land that our soldiers fight so hard for, well, there's no question about it. If it's not ours, why would we go about and fight them off our land? Some of the land was actually, we allowed them to stay there temporarily for the past about 20 years or so. And, well, I'm sorry, I take that 20 years or so. The timeline might be wrong, but after a while, they refused to move. And they start, you know, the conflict started from there, and we are not trying to invade anyone. We, Thai people, we don't want to invade, and we love peace. I'm actually quite surprised that this question was asked by a fellow Thai person, because and I don't care really about the Al Jazeera or anyone trying to paint the picture, the fact that Thailand invaded Cambodia, because we did not. And the fact that we did not communicate well enough back then. That is why the international looked at us this way, because we did not start it. Had the previous government mentioned, well, talk more about it, I wouldn't have to deliver my speech back then, neither.
Thank you, Kapun Bora. We can continue the discussion after this session. Kun Korn, I think your question is more specific about the Democrats Party itself.
Yeah.
Consistencies.
Let me answer before I forget. First of all, just to repeat the question, you're complaining basically about the lack of consistency of our members in talking about the issue related to the MOU 43 and MOU 44. First of all, thank you very much for following so carefully what our various members are saying on the campaign trail. Sincerely. Secondly, I would say I think it proves that we are consistently liberal. And in being liberal, I mean to say that we don't actually have a policy line on everything. We do allow room for individuals to have their personal views. Now, my advice, in any case, certainly what I do, is I follow what the boss says. And not just because he's the boss, but actually because I agree with him on this issue, that MOU 44 is a waste of time because it was designed basically for negotiations regarding how to divvy up the energy resources on the seabed, or under the sea rather. And since that's effectively a moot point because we're not in a position to negotiate anything on that issue with Cambodia at the moment, we might as well scrap it, causing no harm. But we do feel that MOU 43 is important to allow a framework for the two nations to negotiate once we get back to the negotiating table. Thank you.
Thank you. And lastly, any comment on Social Security? It's a big issue.
Yep. I think the Social Security Fund is the prime examples of why Thailand's in dry need of bureaucratic reforms. Because by design, this Social Security Fund is under the Ministry of Labor. That's why no one else or the public could be involved. That's a small part of the elected members of the board, but by design, always a minority, cannot change anything. So that's why in one of our 200 policies is to make it more independent, the Social Security Fund, to make it more efficient, effective, and also transparent. And in doing so, because maybe I'm only one of the party that's never been in government before, so we can say that this is our political view and professional view in restore. I think it's not the term restore, but rebuild trust and confidence in the Thai bureaucracy and the Thai state, even among in Thai society and also in the national community. So Social Security Fund is one of the prime examples of why we need the grand bureaucratic reform. Thank you.
Any quick words on
just
Social
quickly
Security?
speaking, I think everybody, all the parties mentioned aging society has been one of the biggest challenges Thailand has to face, right? And Social Security Fund is, one of the biggest bearer of all those costs into the future, right? If I can have it my way, right now, Thailand healthcare system are silo, right? We have the Social Security system and the universal healthcare system, right? It shouldn't be like that. It should be like this, right? Where everybody's covered by the universal healthcare, and the Social Security system should be a topper for people who contribute to the fund, right? Because everybody who use 30 baht scheme don't have to pay into it, right? So that should be truly universal, and the Social Security Fund should be the topper for people who contribute, right? And then you have a much better benefit, because if you look at the benefit from the 30 baht scheme and the Social Security scheme, the 30 baht scheme has a better coverage, even though the user doesn't have to pay into it, which doesn't really make sense, right? It should be the other way around, right? If you contribute, if the worker and the companies and the government contribute all third of it to the Social Security Fund, but the coverage is less than this fund who doesn't have to pay anything. So if we were to have our chance and be able to control both the departments or ministry, combine the two, make it much more efficient.
Wow. Any quick thought from the others? No? All right. Well, on that note, I would like, on behalf of the Foreign Correspondent Club of Thailand, thank you all four of you for this lively discussion. Round of applause, well deserved. Gentlemen, best of luck for the upcoming election. And just a quick word on the program tonight. It's not live, but it will go on our YouTube and Facebook page tomorrow morning, hopefully, or sometime in the near future. So your followers and others can watch it then. If you enjoy our program, please become a member. And lastly, I urge all of you, because you are from the four parties that are likely to somehow be in the equation of the next government, we at the FCCT very much would like to return to our tradition of hosting a Prime Minister's dinner. So I would like, for all four of you, just if you get to power, don't forget about us, and we would like to host you.
Full commitment, full commitment.
Thank you very much. Good night. Take care.